Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Prosper Nutrition Show, where we want you to prosper and be in health. My name is Jason Steves. I'm a clinical account specialist with Perk Integrative Health, and I'm joined by Steve Steves, who is our certified.
Hello, everyone.
Whoa, hang on one second. Got a little. I keep forgetting about that. Uh, we're joined by Steve Steves, who is our clinical nutritionist and our naturopath. And today we're going to be talking about whether or not winter can make you sick. Good morning, Steve. How are you doing?
Good day, mate. It's awesome to be with you. I'm excited to talk about the seasons of the year and how they affect us and why so many people are getting sick right now. Of course, the articles don't always give us all the truth. They just want to sell you a treatment or a therapy, but God's given us wisdom. I pray that the people are enhanced with encouragement today and they can walk and be in health through the winter and not get sick.
Nice. Yes. I noticed that I think your hat affected your accent there for a second.
A bit,
uh,
just a bit.
well, great. Yes. So this is an important topic. You know, it seems like people ask this question. They're wondering why they get sick more often during the winter. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but we want to remind you to go to prospernutrition.com and download a free guidebook. It's our 7 proven steps. It's principles that we've learned over 30 years of our clinical, having our clinic open and helping clients in nutrition. 7 principles that we've learned that really impact our health and improve our health. We'll talk about some of those principles today in the show. But go to
Yes, Jason,
Yes.
we were kind of battering back and forth about the topics of today, and then it always comes back to those 7 principles. People shift in those principles through seasons of the year. We're going to talk about that, but folks,
Mhm.
get that, download it. The people that read that, and it's not a long read, it's a
No.
short little guidebook.
Right.
All biblically founded truths are in there. There's scripture that validates it, and it makes so much sense. You're like, oh man, remember that old there was this used to be this commercial that a person has this aha moment, and they slap themselves in the head and they go,
Right.
wow, I should have had a V8 because they list on a V8 it's got all these vegetables and a good healthy food, which is much better than what's out there today.
I think
But
there's
anyway,
actually a meme right now when there's like a movie apparently where like a whole movie theater or something of people slap their foreheads. It's like kind of funny.
well, anyway, let's have a V7, or what should we call it? We'll call it our how to
Yeah,
do it 7,
a
our
forehead slap.
7 principles that work, and God,
Yeah.
they're just foundational truths in God's word. So grab that and share it with others. Get them on Prosper Nutrition. Get that free guidebook, and also take the quiz. And now we're vamping that quiz up. We're working on some software to
Right.
advance the technology there and provide more information. When you do fill out the quiz, and you get more details as to why the quiz points you in a specific direction to a specific bundle. Maybe it's an immune bundle, maybe it's a digestion bundle, maybe it's a stress and energy. It depends on how you score, where your areas of weakness that are your body's screaming at you with different symptoms. Symptoms are not the enemy. They're a way that the body communicates to you. Use those symptoms, fill out that quiz, get directed on a bundle, and get started. I do all the bundles, everything that's in every bundle. I don't think, but there's maybe 1 or 2 products in our line that I don't take regularly, but I do take them all. So they are just so well built. And we don't have a huge line of supplements. The foundational support that they provide, for example, people will go buy lipoic acid or they might go buy glutathione, but you can build glutathione in copious amounts at the cellular level, or lipoic acid, with the foundational nutrients that Dr. Jaffe, brilliant biochemist, he is leading in the industry, has for 45 years. I saw him speak 30 years ago, and he was the MC for a 3-day conference in natural health. And there was different doctors every hour on different topics. Maybe it was gut digestion and glutamine. Maybe it was the mineral benefits of magnesium by Dr. Seelig, Mildred Seelig, and just these brilliant researchers. And Dr. Jaffe knew more than each one of them on their topic of specialty. He's been gifted by God with such a passion in this area. When he came to want to debunk it, when his first quest in seeking out nutrition and the wisdom in biochemistry was debunking it. So we stand on his shoulders. We thank you, Lord, for Dr. Jaffe and the wisdom of the foundational protocols that we're utilizing today and taking advantage. Is keeping our family healthy. And sorry I got on that tangent, but I just want people to get excited that prospernutrition.com is a name that is new in these last couple of years. We branded it, but Dr. Jaffe has had these formulas out for many years. We wanted to brand it so that you could really understand it and then take it as your body demands it and be free in health and prosper in everything you do. So go to our website and take advantage, share that, and be in health. So, okay.
Yeah. So 7 Proven Steps download. Go ahead and get on there, prospernutrition.com. Download the 7 Proven Steps. But today, can winter make you sick? This article is the main place where we got our title. And it was talking about this topic and different points of how, winter might be part of the contributing factors that can, be making you sick. So this is an important thing to consider, but
well, list them, and let's either give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down as why, and then let's get into the 7.
So here, it talks about this first point: being cold can cause a cold. It says perhaps your parents used to warn you not to go outside in the cold with wet hair. To the chagrin of their parents, students today are often seen walking to school in shorts without jackets and hats, even in frigid temperatures. While these behaviors can lead to frostbite or hypothermia, they can also make a person more likely to pick up. Can they also make a person more likely to pick up a virus? Some doctor says yes. Wearing layers during the winter can help prevent physiological conditions that can make you more susceptible to contracting viruses.
So as you're saying that, I'm thinking of the new craze today where everybody's out doing cold plunges. And,
yeah, right.
And stressing their body. I tried that. Well, let's see what this is like. The stress it endured in me, it actually put me into a fatigue mode that day. And not everybody responds the same way to that. Anything that triggers stress in an excessive amount will weaken your immunity and you're going to get sick. So whether it's being foolish and going outside and dressing inappropriately and the body being in a shiver state, when the body shivers, that means it's trying to keep itself warm by shaking, and it's releasing extensive amount of energy and burning up the fuel that would normally maybe be used for white blood cell function or red blood cell function and production of oxygen. So you're trying to keep yourself alive with heat. And obviously that's what hypothermia is, where people, they don't live very long. So we don't force that upon ourselves. Stay bundled up and stay warm. But don't make the house too warm, because the heaters dry out the air and release a lot of the junk from the microbes that are on those heating elements, the dust mites and so forth. So you want to keep the inside air pure. When it gets too dry and dries out the mucous membranes of your throat and your lungs, that's when then infection can take place, because the probiotic organisms that help fight infection in the lungs and in the digestive tract, they need a nice, moist, energized atmosphere. And what's the side note? What happens in the wintertime? Well, you're cold, so you don't like drinking cold water. And so people drink much, like there's already hellacious. No, there is a lot of individuals that are dehydrated normally in summer months, right, in good weather. Now you add the winter to that and people go ballistic and become dehydrated even further. You just have to have a regular regimen. And that's one of the 7 proven steps. You have to hydrate in order for tissues to cleanse. There's so many stories we have of individuals that just changed their life of what they drank, like Daniel in the Bible, first chapter, purposed in himself not to defile his temple and didn't drink the rich, sweet wines and things from the kings. They just drank water. And the result was a countenance that exceeded everyone in the kingdom and wisdom 10 times greater. The blood oxygen levels are increased with H2O. With more oxygen, we transport more energy to the cells. Microbes don't like oxygen. You've heard of anaerobic microbes. A lot of bacteria and viruses do not like oxygen. And so oxygen has a detrimental effect on microbes and keeps the immune system stronger. So there are so many pathways of discussion. I want to get into some of the other things, Jason, but go ahead and read that other part of the list in our
Okay.
seven.
Yeah. Well, and I want to make a note because the stress aspect that you mentioned in regard to getting into the cold, there's, I mean, one of the things that we've talked about a lot, I've learned a lot from you, is that aspect of stress on our system, how it can increase cortisol and lower our immune function. But as we know, everybody's very different in the way they adapt to things. And,
Yes.
it is possible to make yourself more resilient to cold. But one, I would say I would like to get people to think a little bit more, outside of the prevailing popular, I guess, strategies, because cold plunging is a strategy. It's just a certain kind of thing that you can try, is just getting more resilient to cold and increasing certain functions of the body, certain abilities of the body. You hear that the certain brown fats will be increased by someone who does cold plunging, and certain cardiovascular benefits. So there's benefits that are observed, but keep in mind that these principles that we have found are consistent, and they're in the seven proven steps booklet. Exercise is a big one. And what exercise does is it actually helps you kind of upregulate your air intake, your heart rate. It affects a lot of those areas that cold plunging will positively affect, except for that cold exposure. So exercise is something that you want to keep in mind and do on a regular basis, which is going to be very helpful for immune system. Also in other ways, and doing it in a good balance as well, not doing it too stressful, too extreme, where that can also stress your body too much. So everything, what does the scripture say? It's, there's a time and season for all things, and it kind of speaks to that principle of balancing your lifestyle and not being too extreme on things all the time.
Good
Um,
word.
so
Good word.
um, Here it says, go outside anyway. If being cold can make you sick, it might seem like staying inside is your safest choice. So here I think it's talking about being inside too much can be causing some health issues. So making sure you get outside. Is that something that you want to say, share a point on? Maybe.
Yes, Jason. I notice when we're inside a lot and we cook, we got smoke in the house, and we need to purify the air quite frequently. We have ionizers and ozonators that I run through the house and cycle it. We probably end up running about an hour a day of an ionizer ozonator in our home to purify the air, because there's so many contaminants that are indoors, and focusing on purifying that. Well, you guys have noticed, I know you needed to paint your laundry room just recently. And so
Oh,
even if you use a water soluble paint, you're going to be smelling those fumes for a little bit. So you want to use an ionizer ozonator to kind of clear that air out, because the liver then got to purify that, what you're breathing in. And of course, you can turn that fan on in that particular room and suck out the fumes and draw in fresh air. That's always another option. It's just being cognizant of the contaminant smells that exist.
mm,
We did mention that within the last couple of weeks. We were talking about one of our clients that had one of those plug-ins, and it had the chemical being released in their home. It was causing her respiratory distress. And so choose wisely in using what you are breathing in your home. Diffusers are really good to use, and use different
mm,
oils like eucalyptus and cardamom, peppermint. Yeah, freshens the air and disinfects the air. And that's
yeah,
another good angle to take. But indoor
right.
air definitely gets contaminated. We need more fresh air. So getting out and breathing that fresh air, getting more oxygen, and doing the deep breathing, like you were talking about, the exercise, like the cold plunge. It just
Mm-hmm.
focuses you to breathe more and get the heart rate up. Deep breathing is really beneficial. We only use about 25% of our lungs typically. So the deep breathing should be practiced on a daily basis. We encourage that for stress management, and it helps prevent anxiety. You can stop an anxiety attack with a deep breathing technique we have called HeartMath. You can look them up online. They have tools that you can download and order, HeartMath tools that you can practice at home if you have stress and anxiety. A great institution that I've followed for years.
Yeah. So, and then this one point here, it says dangers of dry air. Dry winter air is great. It says great for viruses, which maybe you can help clarify what they mean by that. And not so great for you. Research shows that dry air allows the flu virus to spread. Let's see what that's talking about. Air inside your home also tends to be dry in the winter due to heating, and this can dry out your nasal passages, making them less effective at fighting off viruses. Okay. Well, what
Yeah.
about that aspect that you just brought up? I think this was before we even started, where my daughter, Jaden, she's staying with y'all last night, and she was talking about how she's hydrating less during the winter. People have less tendency to have a thirst during the winter, and we've noticed that in the clinic. And so therefore their system is less hydrated and drier, probably as a result.
Yes.
And the dry air probably affects that. But if we hydrate well, our body does a good job of getting those fluids where they need to go in the upper respiratory nasal, passages and things like that. So would you agree with that? That's
Definitely
okay.
healthy mucous membranes. And then, of course, because of hydration, but then adding your probiotic in there. Our probiotic 10 max is the most effective 10 strain organisms in the right microbial balance. We have used this product for 25 years. I have seen this product do things like a child that had a strep bacteria that caused a face um, infection, a big old red welt on the face. And we had them make a paste out of it and rub it on the face and take it internally as well. And
Mm.
3 weeks of antibiotic treatment didn't touch this streptococcus infection. But a number of the strains that are in this do have studies linked to their ability to
Mm-hmm.
break down strep in the body and kill it and remove it, as well as other microbes in the mucous membrane. So you put it on the skin. You can even, I have women that get vaginal infections or urinary infections, and they will do a vaginal douche by opening up one capsule of the probiotic and rinsing the vagina, and the infection goes away immediately by re-inoculating good bacteria in that vaginal area because it sees a lot of microbes and debris. And two, women and mothers, wives that have intercourse with their husbands, if a husband has a urinary infection, he can actually cross-contaminate or infect his wife. And so she may want to do a vaginal douche after intimacy to avoid infection. And of course, get your husband on those probiotics as well. So probiotics, can't say enough about them because there's enough of antibiotic chemicals in our society that are destroying our environment. 1994, was it? Time and Newsweek magazines, back before the internet was so big, published articles about the effects of antibiotics causing a weakened immune system and the overgrowth of these strains of bacteria that have increased and weakening our immune system because they get wise to antibiotics. They can't get wise to our immune system. Our immune system knows how to find what's out there that's not supposed to be. It recognizes that which is foreign and destroys it. We just have to feed that immune system to do the job and have the faith to know that it gets done. God is Jehovah Rapha. He created us in his image. Your body will heal, but you got to feed it the things that bring life to it, not processed foods and chemicals, which we were going to talk about that because I remember earlier when we started this, we said, well, what do the people need to hear right now? We're in the middle of winter. We just had a real hard cold slam here in Houston, and we got down to 15 degrees. And so everybody's immune systems are being affected. So I asked Jaden, and she said, yeah, a lot of people are getting sick. And Jude said, Well, you should tell the people about garlic, or no, about broccoli. And, and so we started, Jade
Jude's
and I,
eight. Jude's eight, by the way.
yeah. So I said, Jude, a lot of wisdom there, because broccoli is one of the GGOBE vegetables that Dr. Jaffe so faithfully and commonly talks about to support the body's detox mechanisms. And there's a chemical in there in broccoli that a lot of people will spend lots of money for. You just eat the broccoli, indole 3-carbinol, which helps to prevent hormone disruption or endocrine disruptors. There's so many of those, the plastics and the pesticides and herbicides and chemicals that get into our body. So broccoli helps to block those cells so that they don't take up those toxic chemicals, and therefore allow for healthy cellular function, eliminating waste. And so the garlic, ginger, onions, brassicas, which are the broccoli, and Brussels sprouts and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a restaurant a couple of weeks ago and had the best Brussels sprouts I've ever eaten. And I grew up as a kid. My dad loved Brussels sprouts, and I was like, there is something wrong with you. But
Yeah, they're high in those nutrients. Sulforaphanes or sulfur containing amino acids are present that help with the detoxification. And so it's very valuable.
And then
Well,
eggs have the sulforaphane as well, but a lot of people have a little mucus stimulation with when they consume eggs. So you may want to limit your eggs and focus more on some of the others. Dr. Jaffe was adamant to talk about the yellow and white onions are often contaminated. Even if they do say organic, they often are contaminated with poor sources of water, and there's high arsenic content in them. He encourages the red onions and the shallots, and chives instead. So I was listening to some of his information today on the topic of detox.
So yeah, GGOBE is the acronym. It can help you kind of remember the foods: garlic, ginger, onion, brassica sprouts or broccoli sprouts, and eggs that have those high amounts of nutrients that can help with our immune system and our detoxification.
Yeah. And the truth of it is, Jason, we haven't been eating this stuff since Thanksgiving, right? Everybody's going towards the packaged sweet stuff, the pastries, so we've got to get on a healthy bandwagon. No better time to start than today. It's a new year, folks. I know you're excited about getting healthy. I pray that you prosper and be in health. Thank you for watching us today. Jason, I know you got some closing remarks that you want to make, but I think we had some good discussion on the topic of sickness and detox, and we'll continue that detox discussion until February. And then we're going to get into Heart Health Month, cardiovascular health, debunking some of the stuff out there that you have been told about heart health, and give you that long life. And we'll look at some of the studies that are really accurate on longevity and cardiovascular disease. It's the #1 killer in America. So stay tuned for February. It's going to be an awesome discussion on heart health. I'm looking forward to getting into that.
Yes. So stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. We are live every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Next week, so the products that we talked about today, they are going to be 10% off when you use the code for today, coupon code 11824SHOW, and use that code. Any of the products that we talked about today, you use it at checkout, you get 10% off at prospernutrition.com. And if you have any questions, feel free to message us, info@prospernutrition.com. You can type a message in the comments, but our goal is to help you to prosper and be in health. So stick around, get in touch with us, order the supplements, feel results today, and we look forward to partnering with you in your health, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, Jason, before we close, Jaffe's comments, and this is what we do every day. There's 3 products we didn't mention that should be included, and we are going to include them in this the coupon code. The first is the ascorbate vitamin C. I wake in the morning every day and take enough ascorbate to get a flush. So then I'll have 3 to 4 bowel movements. The colon is empty. It gets a watery purge. And he mentions that the importance of calibrating your vitamin C. So I know what I need on a daily basis. And this time of year, like I did to recover from COVID, I take the vitamin C 4 times a day because you get that cycle where the immune cells start to lose their energy about 3 to 4 hours and they need replenishment. And I can even feel it, know what my body needs. The other two, the magnesium and the choline citrate, really increase circulation, but they help to activate liver detox through biliary pathways. So most of your toxins want to go out through the bile and the gallbladder and then the colon. So it really helps for that process to take place. We're going to encourage you to use those to get the toxins out, have stronger immunity, make it through the winter, and not get sick while everybody around you may have illness.
That's right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you all for watching. If you are still here, please type in some comments or questions in the comments below. Check out our store, download the 7 Proven Steps. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, a great rest of your week, and that you would prosper and be in health. Take care.